Alright, so I'm back doing Battle Group VR again, and this is the first campaign mission, just a little bit of a playthrough, and this is, again, in early access. Alright, to start off here, the mouse cursor in the middle of the screen is not yours, it's mine. For some reason, when I was recording it, it records the mouse cursor there with it, so kind of annoying, but hey, it is what it is. So what I'm doing here is I've just purchased another ship to add to my fleet. And again, this is the first campaign mission, and you don't start with these ships that you're going to see me play. I'm just replaying the first campaign mission just for the sake of the video. Okay, so just as a reminder, this is early access, so you may see some little glitches and bugs and things you don't like in here that may be removed later. I've kind of got the menu system figured out a little bit to where I'm not having to constantly drag it from behind me or from 20 feet in front of me out of my play area or whatnot. So I've been working on Discord. The dev is very active, as I've said in the previous video, and I've had a lot of help from the community so far. So the head movement's a little fast. It may make you a little woozy and whatnot. Unfortunately, I tried to go as slow as I could to make it easier in the video to see what's going on. So it can't be perfect, but at least you'll get a gist of the gameplay. So just real quick while we're loading in, I'm playing this on my Quest 2, and it is linked with a USB 3 cable through Oculus Link to my PC. So it's I have an extension put on it, so I've got like 30 feet of cable, and it does work. So that's what I'm playing with. My computer specs I'll put on the bottom of the screen here shortly as well.
I see you've spent my money well. Quite reassuring to see you armed and dangerous, as your first mission is to protect me. I know, it's quite the honor. Normally my state-issued escorts would do this, but between the budget cuts and this uprising, you're what's available. I need to get to the war point for a very important meeting to acquire some special technology for the coming fight. However, it's a bit out of the way, and right through the insurgent territory. We've spotted a small force that will probably make an attempt on my life, as they always do. Your job is simple. Keep me alive so I can keep paying you. I can warp out once I reach the jump zone, so I'll be safe after that. Let's make this
I don't know
quick.
why,
I'm
but
already
this
late.
guy reminds me of the kidnapper in the Star Trek episode, The Most Toys. I don't know if anybody else is a Trek fan, but this guy, I don't know why, when I heard him and just saw his avatar, it just made me think, man, that's got to be in reference to that guy. It just feels so much like
No
it.
one likes bureaucrats, but they're essential to maintaining this vast empire.
Picking up a transmission.
Closing in. Your markings are unfamiliar. Mercenaries, perhaps? Well, whoever you are, our quarrel is with that adjudicator pig you're protecting. He stripped us of our livelihoods and worked my people to the bone for his own gains. He is not worth it.
So something else I've also kind of figured out to get the work right for me is the spectator mode, which you'll see a couple times in this video, just to kind of show that it is kind of cool. I guess I really didn't know how to work it that well in the first video I made. As I said, I wasn't really too experienced with the game and all of its stuff, so the Discord channel has been a really big help on some of the things that I'm not quite getting, or where I've got some little issues and whatnot, and other people's issues. So it's a very active community, and again, I'm not a huge fan of first access games, but this one has been really immersive, and the community's really into it. I feel more like I'm beta testing the game, and essentially that's what you're doing, but at least you know you're not sitting around waiting on someone to do a final release. You know that things are being fixed and active and addressed. So this game has so much playability to it as well. There are also mods already out for it, and I've got the mods. I just am trying to figure out a way to do the skirmish mode where it's not starting off with me running into the enemy immediately. So keep an eye out for a video with an Imperial Star Destroyer and the Enterprise as well. So I was already a little nervous here because I saw a third signature for an enemy ship. So I was going, man, we're going to have to move people around here a little bit. I kind of figured it'd be 2 versus 2, but I was a little outnumbered here for sure. So I wasn't sure how this mission was going to turn out. And so I almost went into a little bit of a panic mode there, trying to figure out which one of these ships I wanted to take down first.
We are taking fire.
All head full.
IVN Slayer moving to intercept. Right arc hit. Adjust 10 degrees.
Understood.
Locked on. We are taking fire. All batteries fire at will. Enemy has weapons lock. Target bearing Alpha. Back arc hit.
Enemy targeted.
Got it.
Enemy targeted.
Flak cannon turret is ready.
Nav point locked.
Hit that opening.
Certainly.
We are out fuel. Down arc hit. Press the attack. We are taking fire. Attempting to compensate. Enemy engines has been disabled. Direct fire.
Ready for action.
Launching multi-strike. Watch the flank. Launching EMP missile launcher. Closing in. Taking casualties.
Affirmative.
Keep pressure.
Enemy is damaged. Front
Form
arc hit.
up on squad leader.
Ready, Commander.
Taking casualties.
Understood.
Form up on our position.
Awaiting directive.
Down arc hit. Enemy escort carrier is launching flak cannon turret.
Fighter launch bay is ready. Front arc hit.
Down arc hit.
Flak cannon
got
turret
it.
launched. Supplies running low.
So I'm not even halfway through this battle yet, and I'm almost already out of all my supply for my carrier.
Hit that opening.
So, and I don't have any weapons upgraded or anything yet, so
Taking
this is going to come down to the nitty gritty here.
Directive. Target destroyed.
Target acquired.
Taking casualties. Engine multi-strike is ready.
Something else I was trying to do for this video was to spend more time looking at the environment
We are
around me,
taking fire.
just for the sake of the video, because I do kind of bury my nose in the map and do everything from there, which, you know, it's pretty cool in VR, the environment and everything, but I feel like I can get more done staring at the map, and everyone plays their own way. So
Targets.
I was just trying to kind of
Awaiting orders.
show different points of view here.
Right arc hit.
out for those turrets.
Right, Arcade.
So here I've just realized that I'm already out of my supplies. So if I bring my fighters back in, I won't be able to redeploy them, I believe is how that works. So I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I do know my fighters are out there and they look like they're shooting at stuff, so that's good.
Down, Arcade. Enemy escort carrier is launching strike craft.
Watch your spacing.
Awaiting orders. Commander.
Good shot.
No problem.
So I'm not quite sure if that noise you're hearing is maybe a glitch in the game or if it's supposed to be some sort of alarm. Maybe because the shields are down or because the engine
He's retreating.
was... I took all the power off the engines. Because later on I'll put power back to the engines and all of a sudden that noise goes away. So I'm thinking it's an alarm of some sort. I'm just not quite sure why the alarm would go off if you've manually adjusted the power to your engines to 0. So, not quite sure.
Your command.
Enemy targeted. Launching multi-strike. Locked on. Weapons free.
All ahead full.
Taking casualties.
Stay close.
Ready for action.
Targeted.
One thing I have learned is that the hull of a destroyed ship, as you see there in my view,
We are
it's almost non-existent, or it is non-existent, except for the fact that it's visually there, but it doesn't block shots or anything. I was kind of trying to use it as kind of a shield while my shields were down, but for incoming fire, but it didn't quite work out that way. So
Nav point locked.
We are taking fire. EMP missile launcher is ready.
Commander.
Beginning full attack mode. EMP missile launcher launched.
Target shield arc is down.
Adjust 19 degrees.
Right, Arcade. Awaiting orders.
So here, I was trying to figure out why my missile destroyer wasn't firing any missiles,
Target locked.
and I wasn't paying attention. That solid red line there is the minimum range marker, basically. So he was just inside of it because I was sitting there going, "Dude, why is he not firing?" And that was the reason why. And I figure it out here in a minute.
Good shot.
Awaiting
Strike
orders.
is ready. Target locked. Form up.
Down, Arcade.
Stay close.
Ready, Commander.
EMP missile launcher is ready.
Taking casualties.
Something else that I've noticed also is fighters or the strike craft don't seem to do too well against other strike craft.
Carrier is launching strike craft.
Every time I've kind of put my strike craft against theirs,
Awaiting
it doesn't really seem to do much to them. So maybe there's bombers and fighters. Who knows? Like I said, I have to look into that a little bit. So
Form up on squad leader.
Left, Arcade.
Target bearing alpha.
All ahead full.
So I'm looking here, and the enemy carrier has about 17% on their weapons, which is what I have targeted, which means their rate of fire is extremely slow. So I'm starting to feel pretty confident here, mainly because it's the last ship.
Watch out for
and there's a good chance that I'm not going to lose my missile destroyer, which is really beat up, and my ship as well is pretty beat up. So I'm feeling pretty good about getting this guy.
Launcher launched. Intercept locked.
Alright, so his weapons are pretty much down. I've got his engines pretty much down, so he can't get away. And now I'm going to start working on his hull here.
Enemy targeted.
Got it.
Closing in.
Ready for service.
You got it.
Ready for battle.
Return to hangar launched.
So I don't know if you just heard that, but it's another little thing in the game where it said return to hangar launched. So I think maybe he kind of copied and pasted the hangar launched
Enemy targeted.
vocals into the return, so it kind of threw me off for a second there.
Enemy escort carrier launching strike craft. Left arcade.
SMT missile launcher launched.
Awaiting directive.
Adjustment
Certainly.
5 degrees.
Enemy targeted.
And of course, as you know, there's a manual mode here, so you can steer your ship and do everything. And I kind of like it if I want to get myself into a certain angle on a ship, because sometimes you end up at some really weird angles in this game. So in this case here, I was just kind of bringing the ship around so you could get a good view of his last moments.
Target acquired.
Close spread.
And there he goes. And this mission's pretty much
Target destroyed.
completed. I took quite a beating, less than 50% on my hull, and I believe it's like 15% on the on my other guy in the fleet. So it was quite a battle.
Aye, Captain.
Now, if you hang around, you'll kind of see a kind of a graphical error for the end of this mission here, which is it seems to have only done this on high settings.
Warp
I
sequence
haven't had
initiated.
it happen this bad on medium settings, and you'll see here in just a minute.
Five, four, three, two, one.
So yeah, just everything went crazy here, and I don't know if this is a one-off. As you can see, I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Made it really difficult to see. If I drag the menu down too low, it disappears into that black void there. So I was having some issues
Skill
here trying to figure out what to do, and as you can see, everything was disappearing if I tried to bring it down so I could read other stuff. And so what I ended up doing is just kind of exiting back to the main menu, since all this stuff is going to be saved anyway, and everything was fine at that point once it changed instances there. And that about sums this up. Hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little long, but hey, it's a gameplay video and not a review. So again, love the game and hope you will too.